नहीं क्या बोल रहे हैं आप?
Sir, when he faced that challenging time and he has opened up about giving up, and he said that I indulged in self pity. उस
Well,
टाइम आप लोगों ने
See,
फैमिली
basically,
में
I mean, Bobby is saying that it's not that he gave up or anything. It is, what happens is basically the reality of life is that there are camps everywhere, right? So camps basically go with the people who are part of the camp who will do एक दूसरे की चमचागिरी करो वो करो तो the camps होते हैं. And then somehow some people who are very upfront, like we are judges. तो कुछ भी जो करते हैं तो हम लोग डरते नहीं, हम करते हैं और हम शर्माते नहीं किसी चीज से, सच्चे हैं. तो वो लोगों को अच्छा नहीं लगता. तो वो करते 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 चीजें बन जाती है जहाँ यू विल सी दैट uh, later half of my dad's when he started in the 80s and 90s. A lot of big houses never worked with Papa also. I didn't have any houses work with me. There were no houses there. So then what happens is when you are talented, you are there and you can give those things. So that's how I became a producer. I tried to bring in films. We did try to do all those things. But जब तक कोई नहीं आता तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते, आपको लड़ते ही रहना पड़ता है. तो fortunately, I think it all started off when Bobby did a film with Salman Khan, and that's where he changed himself and he wanted to because he realized that end of the day, it is me who has to get up and do it. I have to kick the butt, not of mine, but kick the butt out over there.
and did he
And he
and
did that,
how
no, I
and
mean,
that's what he did.
the thing
And
is,
that's the confidence. That's what it
no,
is.
I mean, my brother is saying all this, but yes, I did put them through hardship. My family could, I mean, we are so close knit and we live together. I know they were going through pain to see me going through pain. And, I mean, there's nothing they could have done. So,
I mean, they did everything.
but Bobby, your story is so inspiring. The second coming has been fantastic. What you have achieved, I cannot imagine just how proud all of you are today.
Yeah, we are, all of us.
but that's the whole thing. You guys don't give up in life. It's not just you alone out there. It's your family who goes through the same thing. I mean, what you're going through, and it's just that no one can help you. You have to stand on your own 2 feet. No one's going to hold your hand, as I said earlier. So I don't blame the world around me for what my what I went through. I don't blame on camps or other big houses. I believe in myself now, and I know that if I do something, everybody's going to come to me. So that's how I feel. I don't blame anyone. I can't keep living on blaming others for what I went through in my life. I think whatever happens with you is what you do to yourself because you kind of think the world is going against you, but no one's going against you. The world, the way it operates is when they need you for something, they'll ask you for it. If I couldn't give them what they needed at that point in my life, they were right about it. I think I kind of became I took life for granted, I guess, and maybe it was something which I didn't think I was doing. And then after when I went through the bad phase, I realized that, oh yeah, I did take life for granted, and I had to change myself. And it all started from a film called Poster Boys. I remember my brother and me were doing this film called Poster Boys, and for me at that point, that was the only film. And I used to get up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning and go and work out. That's when I actually started working out because I started saying to myself, I said, I have to prepare myself before anyone comes knocking on my door. I should be ready for work. And I still remember I used to get up at 3 o'clock and I used to work out and then leave for a 6 o'clock shift because I couldn't, say I have to work out and I have to you can't come so early. And it was, I think that was the best period when I was doing that. We were in some little town next to Pune and we were living in these cottages out there. And I used to go to sleep every day at 8 o'clock. I mean, I didn't even try to sleep. I used to be fast asleep. And I think that kind of started making, I got disciplined from there. And Bhaiya was so happy because the gym equipments, he carries his equipments everywhere. And he used to see me getting up in the morning. And he used to, I'm sure he was wondering what happened to Bobby at that point. Because he used to always wake me up early in the morning when I was growing up to work out. And I was like, why do I have to get up early and work out? I can work out anytime. So that changed. And then eventually Salman, who I think is one of the nicest human beings in our industry, just called me one day and said, "Will you remove your shirt?" I said, "Yes, I will remove my shirt." And that's how I got more into fitness, and I started realizing I've got dual genes, and if I start working out, my body's going to look good because I'm Dharmendra's son, you know, and my dad is genetic wise is something. So that's how I think, and I think I'm just happy that I am where I am today.
It's great you mentioned Dharmendra ji and Sunny sir was earlier talking about the authenticity of your family in a world where actually I don't think it's just the film industry. Now we're all living our lives through filters. Instagram में सब लोग अपना कुछ बदलने की try कर रहे हैं. Bollywood but for so many people in the pandemic, his social media was what kept us out of depression. There was beauty to it. There's authenticity in a world which is not that authentic sometimes. And I think both of you are also continuing in that vein, that we will sort of not play the game in the way that it's supposed to be played. Is that a challenge now given, or do you find that in the long run it's been better to be yourselves? Like, what is it about the Deol family that can, in a world which is tough to be authentic in, be so open?
I don't know. I think that's the way we are. We basically we don't give up, and so we are ready to accept whatever is there, and take it ahead the way we can take it. We don't have to follow the way the rest of people are doing it. You do it with your own dignity and with your own way. You don't have to, even on the social media, आज मैं ये खा रहा हूँ तो उसकी फोटो डाल दी आज मैंने ये पहना तो वो फोटो डाल दी so I think but somehow that's become that's the way the full generation, everybody is doing all that, and somehow they all want the likes over there, and the more likes they get, the more happy they get. So I think it's the happiness which somehow
No, but
gives them, and I'm sure as time goes by, they will also kind of wean out of it, But you have to go through the process, I think.
I also believe that it's not the fault of the younger generation if there's so much on social media because when we grew up, there was only one television set in a house, right? And that was the best thing that was for us entertainment wise. And every Sunday we watched a movie. And then there was Chaya Geet on Thursdays and there was Pool Khile Gulshan Gulshan. So for us, it was like that. But these kids are born in a period where these big companies have come out with gadgets and they want to sell them and they grew up seeing all these things. And so for them that became a pattern of life, that became a necessity. It's like sometimes when I'm on the road, people on the mobile phones, I'm like, why are they talking on the phone? Because we grew up and there were no phones, on the street. But these people don't realize this is a part of their body now. It's like, one more piece over here and then they're on the phone. So I guess the only reason why we got into social media was because to connect with the younger generation, to make them see us and kind of relate to us. And so that's why we are on it, and we don't have a defense mechanism. We don't try to portray things. We just are what we are, and that's what we show. I can't. I mean, my dad is so real. Why people enjoy his Instagram is because he's not trying to prove a point. He's just trying to share his moment and the way he is. And that's why we Deols are the way we are because we don't have a defense mechanism. We're not portraying. We are what you are when you meet us at home. We are what we are when you meet us on a set. That's how we are. And I don't know, is there any other way of being? I think that's just a normal way of being.
one question before we go on to the archive from an older time sometimes. So our screen archive, Jyoti will take us through it with you guys. Is that, you know, now you both spoke about the ups and downs of being in this industry. Now your kids are starting to enter the industry as well. Um, and it is now in a social media generation where while the praise is great, the criticism also comes real time, sometimes not in the kindest words. Earlier, there'd be a bad review in 4 magazines. Now everyone has their opinion. As parents, everyone wants to protect their children as much as they can. But this is a tough business and it's a very public. Your failures and successes are very public. How do you see yourselves now? Because how have your father has helped you through these times, I'm sure. How has that been? And now as you're going forward and your children are entering, how do you see guiding him through this very tough process actually, because it is public unlike the rest of us with regular jobs?
I mean, that's the world out there, you know. So you can't, what the world is, you have to live in that jungle the way it is. Whatever is happening, you have to face it, and you cannot protect anybody. We were not protected like that. You know, we were protected not from that point of view, but when I was out in the films, we were just doing our films, and we selected everything, and if it came and it didn't come, and right now, because like there's so many of the youngsters out there who want to be in this limelight, who want to be actors, who want to be directors or technicians who went to over there. So there's lots and lots of competition out there, and that's healthy because that's the way it is, and that's why, and that all has increased also is because initially people used to think cinema is bad, you know, that thing has all gone out. And again, then we've got so many formats. Now people are making films on your iPhone, they're making it anywhere, and everybody is being creative. So earlier on, the jobs were just three, four engineer, scientist, this or that. Now you can have a profession of any kind as long as it's your hobby which becomes your profession. So similarly, coming to my kids and all, I mean, whatever is out there, they have to face it. They have to face it, and they have to find their path in it. And as a father, obviously you're there to over there, but you cannot get into them and make them do things. That's their journey, and that's what every youngster is doing, and that's the way it should be.